Hello everyone. Today I'm actually going to be talking about using card sketches, and here you can see my sketch. I have a focal point with a little speech bubble and then a border. So I'm just going to jump right in. I'm starting with a standard size card. I'm using this DCVW pattern paper and these tags, and these tags are actually from, let's see, where are these from? These are from Echo Park's Little Girl journaling tags. I'm just going to cut out this one on the side. You can see me finishing here. I actually found that in Archivers by all the little girl stuff, but it has some interesting things on there that are kind of versatile. You can use it for a few different things. So I've got this one pattern. It's a blue pattern, and it's from the DCWV Nana's Kitchen Mat Stack. I'm just going to cut it down so it has a small border around the edge. And in my sketch, I actually did it on a square card, but I don't know, for some reason I just decided to use a standard size card. These tags, I love these little tags. These are the Chic Tags Valentine's Speech Bubbles. And I used another one earlier, probably about a week or so ago, to do another card with a little raccoon. I'm using this little elephant stamp. It's from Canine Memories. It's a girl. And you'll see here in just a moment, I was testing a few different inks. So I'm using Stampin' Up! Ink, and I ended up using Marina Mist in the end, which you'll see here in just a moment, where I was stamping two different images. I was trying to get a darker ink than what I started out with, so I'll switch it up here in just a moment. You can see my little test stamps. And after using the testing out the stamp, I ended up changing it to a landscape card instead of a horizontal. A horizontal card instead of a vertical card with a fold at the top. Just checking out my spacing here, making sure I have enough space. My card sketch faces the opposite direction, but with the way the speech bubble and with the way the elephant were, I ended up facing it the other direction. Card sketches are really a way to start out a card. You start with an idea and it kind of keeps me focused, but more often than not, I end up straying a little bit away and adapting the card a little bit differently, to fit my needs. Whether it's I have a new embellishment I want to use and it just doesn't quite fit exactly how I thought it was, or if I get this great idea I wasn't thinking about when I was drawing the sketch. I'm just rounding the corners here with this is a 1/2 inch corner rounder. And going back to the card sketches, um, they're just a great way to kind of organize your thoughts and figure out what you want to do. Now there's not any coloring or anything on my card sketches, so that's pretty much up to interpretation for whatever you want to do. And as you can see here, I actually changed the card base I'm going to use. I ended up changing to the red was Basil Cherry Splash, but I'm actually changing it to Basil Walnut Cream. I really like this cream color. It's a some of the colors I've noticed are a little bit thicker than other colors, and this walnut cream is a pretty thick cardstock, even though it's basil, just like most of the other ones I use. It's just slightly thicker. And this little pink pattern paper, it's got little swirls on it in a darker pink color. It's just some scrap. I've had it for years, but I just cut it down to be about an 1/8 inch larger on all sides than the blue pattern I had. Have this giant collection of embroidery floss. So I'm going to just pull out a red one. I have no idea what number or color this is. Oh, and going back to the corner rounder, right now I'm using a Fiskars quarter rounder, but I actually just this weekend purchased a We Are Memory Keepers corner chomper in the 1/4 inch and the 1/2 inch. So that's what I'll be placing this Fiskars punch with. After I recorded this video, I broke my punch, so I no longer have that one. I'm just looping it around twice, and then I'll tie it in a little bow. And it takes me quite a bit of time to actually manipulate the bow to be exactly how I want it. Just adjusting the loops here on the side, or the spacing of the ribbon on the side of the thread on the side. I want it to be noticeable that it's two different, that it's looped around twice, but I don't want it to be so noticeable that it's big and bulky. That's why I ended up using the floss instead of the ribbon. And that was not my card sketch. That's an example of adapting the card as I go along. It seemed like it needed a little bit more. And as you draw card sketches, that's something you can see too. You'll be able to tell if you just have a lot of empty space, or if you have too much going on. The card sketch is sometimes really is a good way to determine those things before you even start the card. Sometimes I start cards without card sketches and I just put a whole bunch of supplies on my desk and kind of go. But it's much easier and a little bit more well thought out if you do a sketch. It's definitely not necessary, but sometimes it's good. Plus, I keep these sketches in a sketchbook, which I'll show you eventually. But it's nice to be able to go back to those later and use them for different ideas as well. Still kind of figuring out the spacing here. This little bow with my tag and my stamped elephant. There's no rhyme or reason to my bows. I just keep fixing them until they look right. Okay, I'm just gonna adhere this pink pattern paper directly down to the card, not with the dimensional adhesives, but just straight down. Making sure the fold's at the top. And I'm just kind of eyeballing it here. You can line it up with the grid mat if you want to be able to see exactly if it's even, but I was just eyeballing it here. And I'm doing the exact same thing with the blue pattern paper. I was going to put this on dimensional adhesives, but I ended up just putting it flat down. I wanted to kind of sandwich the embroidery floss between the adhesive, that way there wouldn't be any worry about it moving around. And I'm just trimming off the ends here. I left them on there in case I needed to readjust a little bit after I adhered it down. I'm using dimensional adhesives on the tag, and then I'll also use them here in just a moment on the speech bubble. But I'm only going to use them on part of the speech bubble. The part that overlaps on top of the tag, I'll put a little bit of, I'll put some just little photo squares to kind of hold it down right there on the corner. Just to kind of keep it all together. So that'll go flat down. And I'm going to put it on the elephant tag first. And then I'll put dimensional adhesives on the back of that. So the elephant and the speech bubble are all the same height. The rest of the card is flat. You can kind of see the shadow here where you can see the flatness of it versus the dimension. And just to give it one last finishing touch, I'm doing some stitching lines with a black zig writer. It's the 0.5 millimeter end, and it's in pure black. All right, so there you go.